All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Uwell. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect, the Bayath, the Wadah, the house of David. All right, so we're just going to get you a few scriptures. We're going to jump right into it, get you warmed up. All right, get you a few scriptures. Okay? So this is Numbers 23 and 19. And it reads, Yahweh is not a man that he should lie, neither the Son of Man that he should repent. Have he said, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall he not make it good? You see? All right, so we know that, that Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and his Son, Yahweh Shai, they're not liars. So whatever they say, right, it's going to come to pass. Because we believe the report we believe the report. You see, because these things are faithful. These things are faithful and true. All right, these scriptures are faithful and true. You see, and the secrets are only revealed to his servants, the prophets. Okay, you see. So let me get that real quick. Amos 3 and 7. Right? It says, surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing but revealeth his secrets, a secret unto his servants, the prophets. And we know what the secrets is of this book. All right? Through Yahweh Shai. You see? The unleavened bread, because we come with unleavened bread. We don't come with no damn leaven in our bread. Meaning we don't come with any lies. Because there's no guile found in the mouth. Right? Let's get that. Let's put this in. All right, it should pop up. Where we at? Let's see. Let's do this. Nope. Let's put this in. There it is. There it is, Revelation 14 and 5. It says, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. You see? So we know what we what we speak is true. You see? Okay, we know what's coming to pass, man. When we know that this microchip is going to come to pass. All right? Let me get you Isaiah 55 and 11. Isaiah 55. We'll start at verse number 10. Okay? It says, for as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. You see? All right? Okay. Let's go here. See if I can find it. I know it's in the book of Isaiah. Salakia. Let me see. Let's put this in. There you go, right there, Isaiah 42:9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." Right. So, like I read in Amos 3:7, surely the Lord would do nothing but revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So we know that the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, and the NFC near field communication microchip, is the mark of the beast. All right. So we know that those things are true, right? Because the Lord said this, right? Let's go here. Isaiah 46. Isaiah 46 in verse number 10, it says, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. You see? So now let's get into the article that I have, right? So this is Microchip Implants, a new frontier in human enhancement. Okay? So this is introduction. It says, in the 21st century, the concept of human enhancement has garnered significant attention, driving the integration of diverse scientific disciplines and propelling implantable devices to the forefront of innovation. These technologies act as a bridge between human biological systems and digital platforms, representing a major global shift and profound implications. One of the most prominent examples of the trend is subdermal microchip implantation, which aims to expand human capabilities both physically and informally. Right? It says, although microchip implantation is not a novel technology, it has long been utilized in various domains such as animal tracking, medical data storage, and military applications. Today, however, it has increasingly entered the realm of everyday life, practically in Western societies. Individuals are opting to implant microchips for a range of purposes, including identity verification, contactless payment, and emergency access to health information. Despite the growing adoption, this technology faces several ethical and social challenges. Concerns include privacy risk, unauthorized surveillance, safety and health implications, and the inadequacy of existing legal frameworks to keep pace with rapid technological advancement. It says, exploring the trend of human enhancement, exploring human potential through biohacking. Biohacking refers to structured process in which individuals experiment with modifying their bodies and behaviors using knowledge, inventions, or technologies from various scientific disciplines with the aim of enhancing physical and mental performance, improving health, and unlocking greater human potential. This practice can be broadly characterized into two approaches: invasive physical interventions, which involve penetrating the body through methods such as injections, implants, surgeries, genetic modifications, and non-invasive physical inventions, which enhance human capabilities without physical intrusion, including the use of wearable technologies, dietary control, and mental training. You see? All right, so it says human enhancement, physical intervention, and means, right? As you can see, biohacking, invasive, non-invasive, subdermal entry, okay? All right, it says biological interventions for human enhancement, invasive biohacking methods. It says those that involve direct physical intervention can be grouped into four main categories based on the topic of biological modification. Subdermal entry involves implanting small devices under the skin, such as, and subdermal means under, right? So when you go into the word subdermal, Okay, let's go into the online etymology. The word subdermal. Let's see if it brings it up. See, it's not going to bring it up in here, but we know what the word subdermal means. It means under the skin. All right, but anyway, it says subdermal entry involves implanting small devices under the skin, such as microchips, which are commonly used for identification, access control, and payment systems. These devices are classified as passive technologies because they do not rely on internal power sources like batteries, instead functioning through external scanners or readers that activate them when needed. All right. It says sensory integration. It says peripheral sensory integration. It says refers to the enhancement of sensory perception through implanted devices designated or designed to augment or expand human capabilities. Examples include collar implants that improve hearing, subdermal magnets that vibrate or simulate nerves in response to nearby magnetic fields, enabling users to perceive otherwise invisible phenomena, and vibration compass that provide directional feedback through subtle vibrations. Collectively, these technologies work to enhance or induce entirely new sensory experiences for the user. Central nervous system interfaces are the most complex and high-risk form of human body intervention compared to others, as it requires surgical procedures to install devices that connect directly with the nervous system. Examples include 1. Brain-machine interfaces, right? BCI, Neuralink, Sacron, right, or Synchronize. You see, which are neural simulators that directly interact with the brain tissue or nervous system to link the brain with external machines or computers. Spinal cord simulators used to relieve chronic pain or restore certain nervous system functions, such as patients with partial paralysis or pacemakers, which regulate the heartbeat. Although pacemakers do not connect directly to the brain, the heart is closely linked to the automatic nervous system, making them a form of physical intervention that affects the central nervous system, right? It says internal biochemical access targets the body's internal biological functions. Examples include implanted devices such as artificial joints or sensors that measure temperature, humidity, blood sugar, or oxygen levels. It also covers genetic modification technologies that influence hormones, enzymic processes, or DNA, such as CRISPR, as well as implanted hormone pellets that regulate internal biochemical systems. It says among the four categories of the technology discussed, subdermal microchip implants are the most likely to achieve widespread adoption, right? It says this is because they are minimally invasive, right? It says do not interfere with the body's critical system, or it says are small in size and operate without the need for internal batteries or power sources. They also carry relative low risk, both in terms of surgical implantation, right? Implantation and potential infection, especially when compared with other technologies that require deeper innovation, right? Intervention in critical systems such as the nervous system, biochemical processes, or sensory perception. Subdermal microchip implantation, right? implantation. From past to present, what is a subdermal microchip, right? And we know what subdermal means underneath, right? Underneath the skin. Henceforth, that's why when you go into the word in Revelation, the 13th chapter, we'll get into it. It says a microchip implant is a miniature electronic device designed to be embedded in the body of living organisms, including both humans and animals. These devices are extremely small. Those commonly seen for human subdermal implantation, right, are approximately the size of a grain of rice or smaller, typically measuring around 12 millimeters, or in length or 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. It says this compact size allows for insertion beneath the skin through related complex medical procedure. All right, and as you can see right here, what we've been talking about, subdermal microchip implantation in humans. You see, the chips. Okay, Revelation 13. All right, it says most implanted chips operate using RFID, which is radio frequency identification, right? Which is going to be helped and ran off of that 6G. Okay, that they got coming. You see, or NFC, which is near field communication technology. These are short range wireless communication systems that do not require an internal battery. Instead, they receive power from an external reader via electromagnetic waves, right? Frequencies. See, right? It says when brought within a specific proximity, right? This enables the chip to function without an internal power source, which is significant advantage for devices intended to remain inside the body for extended periods. All right. It says currently microchip implants are typically manufactured from bio capability materials such as bioglass and bio what is that? Anyway, it says to minimize the risk of rejection by the body's immune system, right? Okay, it says the risk of rejection by the body's immune system, right? It says this allows the device to remain in the body for long durations without causing harm. These microchips generally consist of three main components: integrated circuit responsible for processing and storing data, antenna coil, and small coil that functions as an antenna for signal transmission and reception, and memory used to record various types of data. Right? Okay. Background on RFID microchip implant technology used in animals. The RFID technology industry developed miniature transponders for implantation in various types of animals during the period of 1986 and 1996. However, these transponders have significant limitation, and transponder produced by one company could not be read by a reader from another company. This has led to the establishment of the ISO 11784 and the ISO 11785 standards. You see, it says which prompted manufacturers to gradually shift towards producing only microchips that complied with these standards. As a result of a unified global microchip standard was formed. Human RFID chip implantation. The implantation of RFID chips in humans began notably in 1998 when Kevin Warwick, a professor in cybernetics at the University of Reading, United Kingdom, integrated Project Cyborg, right? It says in this project, he implanted an RFID chip under the skin of his forearm, embedding him to control electronic devices in the laboratory through bodily movements, for example, unlocking doors and switching lights on and off. This made him the first human to receive an RFID chip implant. From the starting point, the technology of human chip implantation has rapidly evolved throughout the 21st century, practically in Europe and in North America, with applications expanding in medicine, identity verification, and human digital interface integration. Okay. All right, how subdermal microchip technology works. It says the functioning of RFID chips implanted under the skin involves a wireless data transmission process. The implanted chip transmits stored data to signal receiving antenna, which acts as an endormary receiving and forwarding the data from the chip to a RFID reader. The reader wirelessly connected to the antenna receives the data from the chip and transmits it to a computer system. In the final stage, the data is sent to a RFID database in storage and processing. The entire system operates through electromagnetic induction. Right? It says whereby the electromagnetic field generated by the RFID reader simulates the subdermal chip to embedding it to receive power and transmit data without requiring an internal battery or power source. Okay? Commercial beginnings for medical benefits. In the United States, right, Babylon the Great, RFID technology began to play a significant role in the medical field, practically. All right, in 2004, when the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, right, the FDA, approved the use of implanted RFID chips in medical purposes for the first time. The chip, commercially known as Verichip, was manufactured by Applied Digital Solutions, a company based in Florida, United States, or USA. It says this chip was capable of storing personal identification data and medical history, allowing medical personnel to quickly access critical information and emergency solutions. Additionally, implanting the chip reduced to the risk of equipment less compared to other wearable devices that display personal information, such as medical bracelets. The implantation of RFID chips can enhance the efficiency of medical treatment, especially in cases where patients are unable to communicate, according to the study of Walensky in 2006, publishing the INBO. The INBO reports the first generation Verichip used with the internal group of 200 users contained a 16-digit identifier linked to each individual's medical records in a central database, right? And that's what you call, how can I say it? Like a UPC. Now, a UPC, right, Universal Product Code, I think has at least 10 to 12 digits. I think it may be 12 digits, if I'm not mistaken, with the 3 lines in the middle of those digits are 666. Okay. All right. So let's go here. Let's continue on. Where we at? It says prior to subdermal implantation, the microchip underwent chemical treatment to prevent movement within the body. It says the procedure costs approximately 200 to 400 USD, which is dollars, right, with an annual fee and database access. The company charged 20 USD per year for basic data recording and 80 USD prior year for comprehensive personal health records. Okay. An illustrative case occurred in 2006 when a 44-year-old police officer in New Jersey suffered a severe accident while on duty. Upon arrival at the hospital, emergency medical staff scanned his body and detected an RFID chip and had been implanted 2 years earlier, for identification purposes. The medical team was able to access the patient's health information via the online database and discovered a history of type 1 diabetes. This enabled them to promptly monitor the patient's blood sugar levels while treating other injuries. This case study clearly demonstrates for practical benefits of chip implementation. The use of cases of RFID microchips, medical applications, medical use it says medical use is arguably the most significant benefit of RFID technology. RFID chips can store identification data and critical information such as drug allergy, history, blood type, and chronic conditions and emergency contact details. This enables medical personnel to quickly access by essential data in emergency situations. All right. It says practically when patients are unconscious and unable to communicate. The popularity and purpose of RFID chip usage in medical contexts vary across regions in the U.S. In the United States. Subdermal chip implantation began with Alzheimer's patients. For instance, in 2007, a project in Florida implanted chips in 200 patients in a facility, rapid access to vital medical information. All right. It says the incentive aimed to enhance healthcare for individuals with chronic illness and cognitive impairments. In contrast, Japan in super age society, where over 20% of the population is aged 65 or older, prefers non-invasive RFID applications to monitor and care for elderly individuals with dementia. Instead of implanting chips, patients may wear devices embedded with RFID chips or have chips placed in their slippers. These devices record local data, tracking behavior, and analyze daily activity patterns, such as data can indicate changes in patients' health status. All right. So there's a lot to this article. So we're not gonna, read. I'm not going to read all the rest of this article. There's so much here. All right, there's so much here. So we want to get to the scriptures. All right, you can go look the rest of this article up if you would like. There's just a lot here. I read plenty of the article, so you understand what we're getting into. Okay, so let's go here to Habakkuk, the second chapter. Right, Habakkuk, the second chapter, and the third verse. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie." And that's what we know. We know that this is not. We know that the scriptures are faithful and true. You see, and it's speaking right now because this man is getting his technocratical, totalitarian, authoritarian government. His system is being put in place. Right. You see, Obed 1:9 was a part of that, putting his system in place. You see, it says, "And shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." And that's right. This thing is not tarrying. You see, once they make this thing mandatory, because they're eventually going to make it mandatory. You see, because they're moving away from this fiat currency. They're going to move away from this fiat currency. They're going to tell you the cash is no good. It's done away with. Cards are no good. They're done away with. But we have a new way. You see? We have a new way. We have the RFID chip. That's the new way. That's the new wave. You see? And obviously they're going to use their puppets, right? You see? Their witches, their warlocks. Talking about the so-called white man, the super elites, really, the tiny tops, the super elites who have sold out. A lot of guys like Jay-Z and Kanye West and all these other guys, right? High-level warlocks, right? And then you got high-level witches, right, who are going to push off these things, you see, as it's something beneficial, but it's really not anything beneficial, right? You see? So let's go into Revelation, right? Because I didn't intend to make the video super long, but hey, let's do the spirit. Revelation 13, and let's jump right down to 14. You see? It says, and he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, right? You see? It's pseudoscience, man. Okay? And these left-hand miracles, right? He's talking about he can make the... See, you got this guy, Elon Musk, talking about he's going to be able to make the blind see. They're working on a chip. I did a video on that. You see? We're talking about, we're going to be able to make the blind see. Bunch of devils, man. You see? All left-hand miracles, right? All pseudoscience. You see? It says, of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. That's the going back into the old ancient pagan Roman Empire, right? Which came back through the Renaissance, right? You see? Which is the Renaissance means rebirth, which they came back here again. We live in the latter end, right, of the Roman Empire, the fourth beast. Okay? This is where we're at with it. You see? And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? So, you go into that word killed, meaning pretty much you will be X'd out of the society. You will be X'd out of the society without taking that chip, or physically killed. There's two ways to go about it. You see? So let's go down here, verse 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma, right? A mark, you see? So like I mentioned to you, the word subdermal. All right, let's go into it. Let's go into the word mark, which we know the word mark means charagma. You see, I'm not going to play it. It says a stamp or an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead of the right hand, or the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? It says the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work, right? You see? It says a scratch or etching, i.e. stamp as a badge of servitude, or sculpt figure, statue, graving, mark. See? Charagma. Okay? So let's get up out of there. It says in, where we at? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Foreheads is plural, meaning it has to do with people. This has nothing to do with an embargo. Nothing to do with Caesar Borgia. Like Nate, like Nate Satan. That snake Nate said. All right, embargo, right? Then you had General Johanna. You see? They're talking about that this thing ain't a physical thing. Well, guess what? It is a physical thing. Okay? It is a physical thing. You see? It says, and that no man might buy or sell. Buying and selling is transactional. Exchange for service and goods. Okay? CBDC, central bank digital currencies. Okay? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Which, when you go with them central bank digital currencies, it coincides with a blockchain, right? Which all your information is stored on blockchains. You see? So it's able to read. So all they got to do is scan, and it reads off, and it brings up this: your medical history, your birth certificate, your everything will be implanted on that chip. You see? And so on and so forth. It says, in the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name, here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So you take that chip, right? You see? You take this chip, it's going to, ultimately, there's a grievous sword that's going to come, man. Right? Revelation 16:2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark, the charagma, right? It says of the beast, okay, and upon the fourth beast, right, which is revitalized back here today, which is Babylon the Great, aka America. Okay? It says, and upon them which worshipped his image. You see? And that word, grievous, it's going to be, hold on, let's go into it. Yep. And let's go into that word sore, right? Which is halkos. Okay? A wound, especially a wound producing a discharge pus, a sore, an ulcer. An ulcer as drawn together sore, right? From high frequencies of radiation. It causes burns. It's going to cause burns, big bubbles of pus. You see? That's from high frequencies of radiation, man. Okay? So let's get out of there, right? So you take that shit, right? Matter of fact, let's jump down here. Let's jump down here to verse number 11. Matter of fact, to verse number 10, it says, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues, right, for pain, and blasphemed Yahweh of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. Right? Deeds mean works. You see? And what did you do? You took that ship. Now you take that ship, Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to destroy you, man. You're going to burn over here in the second death by ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay? And them concentrated fire, the chariots is going to shoot down on you, man. You see? You're going to be destroyed over here on the side. You take this man's chip, man. And I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you the warning. You see? I'm giving you the warning, man. Okay? All the brothers has been giving people the warning, man. You see? So let's go here. Revelation 14:9. Right? And we're just going to end it off. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Like I said, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, will engulf Babylon the Great. All right, so with that, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Microchip, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of well, peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect, the Bayak Dawadah, the house of David, Shalom, Abba Ball.